Hey Ravers! I'm guessing you clicked on this video because you've been playing Smash Bros for a little while, and although you've been having fun playing a plethora of characters, you're having trouble narrowing your list down to one single character. Obviously, with like 70 to 80 different characters in the game, it can be pretty difficult to find one specific character to make your main. Maybe you're wondering if you should even have a main. Maybe you're thinking, I liked this game, so maybe I should pick this character. Or, I think this character is cool, so even though I'm not very good with him, I'm going to use him until he's my best character. Now, to help you whittle down your list to one specific character, let me tell you about how I found my main, and maybe that'll help you. Now, before I go on, let me preface by saying this. You don't choose your main chooses you. You may have heard this before, but I cannot begin to stress how true this is and how many people I've met who attest to this philosophy. If that doesn't help though, here's my own personal story. So when I first got the game, I thought to myself, I want to have 3 characters that I'll be really good with, so that way I can still be good at the game while specializing in a couple different characters that I can use as my main, my secondary, and my tertiary. That way I can still get good at the game without burning myself out from using one specific character over and over and over. This is something that I think everyone should follow until they get to a really competitive level where they can focus more and more on their main until they eventually try to win Evo or something like that. And as for those characters that I specifically wanted, I was thinking to myself, I want Inkling to be my main, Pokemon Trainer to be my secondary, and Mega Man to be my tertiary. That's what I said when this first came out. Splatoon, Pokemon, and Mega Man were my all-time favorite video game franchises, and I wanted to use their characters due to my loyalty for the game. Probably not the best idea. Now, I didn't unlock my characters the easy way. I unlocked them the hard way, through the World of Light. Fortunately, I was able to unlock all 3 of them relatively early on, so I didn't have to wait until like the end of the game to use any of them. Then, once I unlocked them, I made it my primary focus to beat the World of Light using nobody but those 3 characters. Or 5 if you count Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Charizard as different characters. But regardless, I was having a really tough time, so tough in fact, that I was starting to have a little less fun playing the game in general. Like, I would get to really hard matchups, and even though I committed to using Mega Man or Pokemon Trainer, I found myself using Donkey Kong more than anyone else. So, by that point, I realized that I wasn't going anywhere with those characters, so I made a list of what I wanted my main to have. So, number 1 was that I wanted a good recovery. I think it's the most frustrating thing in the world when someone edge guards you and you have no way to get back up to the stage. Like, Little Mac was actually my main in Smash 4, but I decided for this one, recovery would be a little bit more important. And second, I wanted to have a neutral B that would charge up into something powerful, kind of like what Samus or Donkey Kong have, but not like what Little Mac has. I wanted to be able to cut myself off halfway and go back to charging later if I needed. Some people call this camping and hate players like me for doing it, but it plays to my strengths and helped me win matches, so yeah, no. Thirdly, I wanted to be able to use my whole kit. So that took out characters like Mewtwo or Olimar, where I just never saw myself using their entire move pool. Other than that, I just wanted to feel comfortable with the character's jab moves. Like, there are some characters where their jabs just feel off to me, and these are the characters that I almost never use, even just for fun. So by this point, I had my list. I was using a bunch of characters left and right, hoping to find that one that stuck. But none of them really spoke to me, and honestly at this point, I really believed that Donkey Kong was going to be the one to be my main in the end. But that's not what happened. So one day, while I was playing around in the battle arenas, I saw one titled Sword Characters Only. Then me, being the little troll that I was, said, I'm going to use Robin, so that way I can use magic while still technically being a sword character. Needless to say, I started winning. A lot. I wasn't just winning, I was winning handily. Robin felt like an extension of me, like she was everything that I instinctively wanted to use all in one package. After I left that arena, I went to a different arena, and Robin was already pre-selected to be my character, so I thought, why not? Guess what? I was playing really well. And not only that, but I was having a lot of fun doing it. With the 74 characters in the game, Robin was the only one that I actually wanted to use, which was actually pretty wild considering how bad she was in Smash 4. Also, side note, I'm going to be using the feminine pronoun because honestly, who uses male Robin? Friggin' let's tip the scales! Friggin' dumb. Anyway, I had my main picked out, but I still wanted 2 more characters to be my secondary and tertiary. I'd basically given up on Pokemon Trainer and Mega Man. Their playstyles just did not fit me. Besides, whenever I used Pokemon Trainer, I would just switch to Charizard and spam Flare Blitz, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. However, I didn't feel like Inkling was a bad character. She definitely was not as bad as some of my other characters, and I'm still completely obsessed with Splatoon as it is, so I thought, like, why not try out Inkling some more? After that, things sort of just clicked. Like, I was using Inkling because I wanted to. I wasn't necessarily winning games, but I was still having fun, you know? I had to get used to Inkling's kit still, but I was at least enjoying the process. I felt like anytime I was using Inkling, I was growing as a Smash player, and that basically settled it for me, so I had my secondary picked out. Now, at this point, I was wondering whether or not I should even use a tertiary. I felt kind of embarrassed saying it out loud, and I was afraid people would judge me for saying I was a specialist when I had 3 characters to specialize in. By the same token though, I felt like something was telling me to get a 3rd character. Maybe it was boredom, maybe it was intuition, I don't know. But either way, I followed my gut and decided to look for a 3rd character to use. Now at this point, I was completely lost. Robin and Inkling just sort of came to me, but I had to work and analyze to find that 3rd character. My options up to this point were Donkey Kong, Samus, Bayonetta, and maybe Zelda, but I felt confused the entire time I was playing with them. I mean, I was good with all of those characters, besides Bayonetta. I never got good with Bayonetta. But I didn't feel like they particularly stuck out to me. So what I did from there was I went to Squad Strike and started playing with 3 random characters for hours. I would legitimately play as many characters as I possibly could until I said to myself, okay, I'm done doing that. I know that I'm not good with these characters, but I am with these characters. So that's how I got rid of characters like Ness and Ken, and started focusing on characters like Lucina and Little Mac. Hold on, I'm gonna burp. Anyway, so where was I? I was beginning to realize that like there were characters that I was good at intrinsically and characters that I wasn't. And about that time, I found myself with a character that I didn't feel like I was particularly good with, but at the same time, whenever I used her, I was winning games. It felt so weird how this character never really stuck out to me, but at the same time, I kept using her and the results kept coming back. Win, win, win. It was a character I'd never even thought of. So from that point, I had my 3 team members. Robin, Inkling, and Wii Fit Trainer. So by this point, I had my team members and thought, okay, I'm good forever. Although that's not really what ended up happening. I still wanted 2 more. Why? Because there's an option to use 5 characters in Squad Strike, and I thought it would be more fun to have a 5-man roster. Despite most of them being girls anyway. Really quick though, let me tell you that these last 2 are used far less than my main 3. I would say I use Robin about 50% of the time, Inkling about 25% of the time, Wii Fit Trainer about 20% of the time, and the other 2 about 4% of the time collectively. Mainly just for Squad Strike, and whenever I feel like doing something less serious online. And as for every other character, I would say I probably use them less than 1% of the time, only on special occasions in specific battle arenas. Other than that, I don't use them. So, that may not be where you're at though. Maybe you can't fathom narrowing your list down to 5 or fewer yet. That's fine. Again, I wouldn't recommend narrowing your list down until you're ready to start actually making money from winning local tournaments. So, anyway, back to the final 2 characters. These were characters that I just felt like I could use to have a good time and not be too serious with them. Hold on, I'm gonna burp again. Oh man. So I was toying with characters like Lucina, Duck Hunt, Toon Link, as well as trying out Donkey Kong and Samus 1 last time. But the characters I ended up choosing were Greninja and Sonic. Greninja, in case you didn't know, actually has an extremely underrated kit, and I feel like he does not get enough love from the community. Plus, I'm actually not too bad with using him, so I thought, you know what, why not? Then, as for Sonic, I saw a video where someone was playing him for 500 hours, and I thought, hey, that's cool! Then I started doing the same thing, and it just kind of caught on. So, now I may have 5 characters that I use, but I would still call myself a specialist. Robin is my main. Like, that is just the one. I have the one main, Robin is my main, and I use her whenever I go to tournaments. Then, if I end up losing a match with Robin, I still have either Inkling or Wii Fit Trainer as a backup, depending on who my opponent is using. So if that seems like too much though, like if having 3 mains, quote unquote, like a main, a secondary, and a tertiary, if that sounds like too much, think about this. At EVO 2019, there were 5 players in the top 25 who used at least 2 characters in their final match, one of which used 3. So using one character will make you really good with that one character, and for everyone in the top 4, that's what worked for them, but that may not be what you want to do. They chose one character and stuck with it, but just remember, that's not the only way to play Smash. The only other advice I have to offer is don't listen to tier lists. Focus on your own strengths. There's a reason why no 2 tier lists are the same, and with every new patch, those tier lists are going to change. People have their own opinions on which characters are good and aren't good, but you have to focus on how you play. Don't let anyone else influence your choice. If you want a main, let that character come to you, whoever that may be. It may be someone that everybody's using, like Fox, Wolf, Mario, Captain Falcon, something like that, or it may be someone like Olimar, Bowser Jr. I'm trying to think of another one that nobody uses. I want to say Duck Hunt, but at the same time, 2 people got in like the top 25 using Duck Hunt at EVO, so I don't know if that counts anymore. But regardless, hopefully you were actually able to figure out who to main in this video, or at least if you're trying to figure out who to main, hopefully this video helped a little bit. So if you already do have a main though, let us know who it is. I mean, as long as it's not Lucas, I'd love to hear about it. If you're not sure yet, then you have like an idea of who you might want to use, let me know in the comments, and also be sure to leave a like or whatever. I don't friggin' care, I burped twice in this video, so whatever. I'm just using this channel to play video games while I promote my music, so I'll leave links for that down in the description. But yeah, let me know what you think. I'll see you guys next time. Later, Ravers!